What's up, Dane? Haven't seen you in forever, man. How are you?
I know it seems like it's only been a week, but it seems like a month. Man,
Yeah,
you get moving and doing these one after the other, and then you take a couple of days off and you lose track. So it's good to be back.
yeah, man. We had a busy week of softball tryouts, things like that.
Yeah,
Got tryouts
yeah,
tomorrow. Going into last week, man. I'm still kind of riding that wave of coming off that camp we did. Coming into
yeah,
this week, had about 300 kids show up for tryouts. It was pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, and softball, even though we had a chance and been blessed to do all sports, we talked about this. Softball has been our bread and butter. It always has
yeah,
been something we love talking about. And I had to pinch myself, Dane, because I thought I was
yeah,
asleep, or I thought this had to be a dream. We've been tracking down
yeah.
one of the icons of the league. Just got done taking his team for the first time ever, the Utah Utes, to the World Series. Has recently accepted a position in Arkansas.
Yeah.
Just doing many, many things, as the kids say out there, doing God's work, as they say. But
Yeah.
the one and only part of the just softball icon itself. So they're not going to waste any time. I'm going to get right down to it and bring on the living legend himself, DJ Gasso. DJ,
Yeah.
how you doing, man?
I mean, way too grand of an introduction there. No legend, no icon, just
all,
Pat Gasso's son is what they call
no,
him.
no, no, sir. No,
You
sir.
gotta, you're definitely cutting your own path nowadays.
That's that, man. No,
we watched you all season long with the Utes, man. Congrats on the move to
Yeah.
Arkansas, dude. You are literally everything I said is true, man. So I'm glad to have you.
nice. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
so we've got some questions over the years, Coach, that I think will fit the episode. So I'll go first one. So take me back, man. Before working with, obviously, congrats on the Arkansas spot. Hope the move was well before the Utes and your kind of transition days. When did you first pick up a ball and start playing in your life?
I mean, probably like t-ball. Probably got handed a ball younger than that, but started playing t-ball. When you start like 5-6 years old, maybe. And my mom was our t-ball coach, and I'm my best friend's mom, Carlita Nelson and Patty Gasso. They led the Dodgers to victory.
Really?
Oh, there
Our
you go.
6-year-old t-ball team, yeah. So
You win a championship at 6?
I mean, I don't know, probably not. But
Nobody's keeping score.
getting the orange slices after the game was a championship for me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Man, so you take all that, man. Obviously playing. I know you did a lot with on the diamond. Did you play other sports, Coach, alongside of being on the diamond?
In high school, I played football and baseball. In middle school, like younger, I played like all the sports. But when I was like more middle school, I played football in the fall. I played ice hockey in the winter, and then I played baseball in the spring. And then once high school started, like that was too much. So it was just football and baseball after that. So
I got you. Dan, go ahead.
So with all those sports, when did the coaching bug start to hit you in life that you thought, okay, I got to teach the things that I know now? And at what age did that hit you?
I would say probably in high school. I would say I know when I was a freshman in college, I redshirted. And I knew then I was going to coach because everywhere I've gone, I've always asked, our coaches, pick their brains, ask for advice, sit close to them, hear the discussions, conversations. And, I'd always go into my coach's office, whoever it was, and just ask them questions, and learn. So I probably really, really knew when I was a freshman in college, but, in high school, I knew hey, that's my dream. That's my goal. So.
At that young age, man, coaching, I'm just thinking back over what you just said, playing football, playing hockey, playing all sports and coaching. I think it was kind of in your blood, man, to coach. Like I've seen you, again, the success from congrats for the first time ever taking the youth. That's a big thing to hang on your cap already, man. And then with what you're doing and obviously in Arkansas, obviously many influences, we could take, your family influence and all that, but expanding past that, Coach, tell me, is there another influence maybe we don't hear about of as much? It's been like a go-to for you, like that's helped mold you as a coach and a player. Maybe some we have never heard of before. That's kind of been a mentor for you, if you will.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, all my past coaches have been huge. Obviously, I'm a lot closer than others. from like a lot of my philosophy, how to coach and things, I take a lot from Randy Sullivan, the Florida Baseball Armory. His son was on my team. And then our junior college pitching coach did a lot with the Texas Baseball Ranch, and they were a lot of doing stuff together. Now he's like the head pitching coordinator for the Colorado Rockies. So he kind of, they know their stuff. So I would say from like how to teach movement, I've done a lot with them. And honestly, like I've taken so many things from so many different people. I can't, say this is one or the other. But my mom and brother have, I mean, probably, I would say I take the very most from
I gotcha.
everything I do, from coaching, from, mentality, from, mechanics, philosophy, all that stuff. I like I said, take a lot from a ton of other coaches, but I would say, my mom, my brother.
I gotcha. That's cool. That's cool, Randy, with the Rockies. We actually interviewed Joey. He's in the farm system, Joey Campagna. He knows you and says hi. So it's cool to have him. But the Rocky system, that's great, man. Like you said, many influences. I usually get my influences from watching a bunch of Hallmark stuff, and I just still catch phrases from I'm kidding, But no, it's cool to see your broad range of influences, man, and what you bring to the table too. I think it's neat now. As Alicia, we had Alicia from the Utes on a few weeks ago, and she's like, Coach, Coach DJ's coming on. It's neat now, DJ, to see that now you're reciprocating and passing the torch, and now you get to be. Isn't it cool, man? Like we say your name in that same breath, and that wasn't just me pandering. We feel that way now. DJ's carrying on legacy, and in your own right, already at the top of the Women's College World Series. I mean, dude, you're there. So it's no traction has been lost, and you're just doing it out there, crushing it. So go ahead, Dane, before I ramble.
Now that you're in this position, you've taken the Utes to where they were last year, and now you shift gears to Arkansas. What does the next 6 months look like coming into the season? Obviously to the fall games and things like that. What are you looking to do right away as you hit the ground running with this new team?
Yeah, no, I think, and one thing with Utah, a big reason why we win is because the players, you know what I mean? I can say like, my role was big, but Coach A is an amazing head coach. You still have Paige Parker, who's one of the best to ever do it. So, I like to think that my role was extremely small in that. But I think, the coaches can have all this or that. But I think at the end of the day, I always want to be known as like a player's coach, and I think that all the credit goes to the team, the players, for believing, executing, and making a path that we've never really been on before. I think that was an amazing journey, and I'm definitely going to miss those guys a ton. But for Arkansas, I mean, there's not a ton to do. I mean, they're a really, really good team. Coach Deifel is not only an amazing head coach, but an amazing person. With Matt Michael, Daniel Gibson, I think our staff is going to be really, really good, be able to work together really well and have different perspectives. The players, I mean, you're returning All-Americans. You have the stuff to go to the World Series. And I think, I want them to believe not only, hey, is the World Series a goal? Because that's something that Arkansas has never done before. But we're here to win a national championship. I mean, that's the goal. Making the World Series, yes, that's an absolutely amazing accomplishment and one that's never happened in program history. But that's a step in the path. That's a step in the right direction to win a national championship. And, that's the mentality that I grew up around. It's something every single year, no matter what team it is. With my mom, it's like that's the goal, and that's the thing that you're working for every single year, and having that mentality and doing it with the talent at Arkansas. I think really good things can happen. But the first thing on that path for me is to really get to know the players.
I love that.
Build those relationships. Try to call I've called each and every one of them. Try to talk to them multiple times before I get on campus. But I could say whatever I want, but if they don't trust me as a person, they're not going to listen. that's, like I said, I want to be known as a player's coach, have those relationships. So that's, it takes a long time. It's not going to be built in a day, but as soon as I get to Arkansas, it's probably one of the first things I'll focus on.
I love what you said about players, coach. And coach, one of our kids, because we start we start kind of get rolling at 14U. You know that from all your years. And there's one of the questions the kids asked. They said, I know scouting and all that, 14, 16, all that. If you're walking into your scouting and recruiting, I don't know if we can even narrow it down to one thing, but what's the one thing you look for at first impression? If you're walking up to a player, that one thing, what would that be?
I think the first thing is just how they are as a teammate. There's kids you can tell by just watching them play, like, hey, that's a good kid. That kid's not going to cause trouble in the program. Or you can say, like, hey, that kid has a little attitude. Like that might be something we have to deal with. Obviously, you have, the size, you have the athleticism, the smoothness. I mean, you have all the player attributes that any person can go watch a game and say, that kid's really good. Yeah, no, duh. Like we all see it. But I think, who you are as a teammate. Are you first one to congratulate a teammate? Are you, first one out on defense? Do you take your time? Do you jog around the bases, or on a routine fly ball, are you touching second? What type of person you are. And I think the way that you play says a lot about that. Are you showing up teammates if there's something that goes wrong? Are you throwing up your hands like, hey, what the heck? Or you're saying, hey, I got you on the next one. I think those things are kind of lost because, it's such an individual sport, and especially in youth, you want to get recruited, you want to go to college, and it's about you. And there's so many games. It's not about the team winning as much. But I think that's one thing that I definitely see that's outside of the normal of, hey, she throws really hard. She's athletic. She's fast. She's quick. She hits home runs. Yeah, I know. We all see that, right? But, what you see that's a little different, and I think those are some things.
Thank you, man. That answers it. A lot of Dane. I know you wanted to expand on that too, Dane. I think. Go ahead, Dane.
I was just going to say, whenever you talked about going to meet a lot of the players, in your new role, they say some of the best coaches are also the best students of the game. So to hear you say that, and it tells what kind of coach you are and why you've had the success that you've had so far in your career, that you're able to know that, hey, once I get into a situation, I still have work to do. I can't just do this and teach. I have to learn as well. And that's what just makes the whole machine run so much smoother, because coaches like yourself are willing to learn from their team as much as they're willing to teach them. So it's great to hear that.
Yeah, it is a little different, but I think, one thing I did learn from my time at OU and just growing up around my family, my mom, is like, they're the hardest working people I know. My brother, one of the, offense is great. They're going to be great every single year, but he's one of the hardest working people I know, and they grind. And not many people understand that and know that, but that's why you have success. Like, you're always learning, you're always trying to find how, like, that next advantage, or that next competitive advantage. You're always learning. As soon as you're not evolving, as soon as you're not learning or growing, someone else is, and someone else is passing you. So the competitive spirit and family that we are, that might take a toll on us a little bit more than others. Like, you're always, trying to grow and learn and, adopt that into your program. And what's the new thing? My brother's going to read it. I'm not probably going to read it, but I'll probably talk to someone about it and learn. Like, I use my personality and my relationships with people and say, oh, I heard this. And then I might go research it. My brother doesn't need to say anything to anyone. He'll go find it out on his own, basically. So, I'm not the most creative. I'm not the most, I would say, out of the box thinker. But what I do is use my resources. I keep those relationships, pick people's brains that have been in the game for a long time at the highest level. And I think that I learn and grow it in that way. And I think it might be a little bit different, but it has been helpful.
I love that.
As soon as you stop that, someone's passing you. So
I love that.
You always have to find a way to get better.
I keep going back to student of the game. And just for the record, if you don't mind, sometime when you guys all get together, let's live stream like a family football at Thanksgiving game. I think that'd be legit, man. DJ running quarterback and over there, tackling that. That'd be awesome, man. JT's just getting tackled. That'd be cool. But no, I tell you, man, I'm writing this down. I got my page of notes. We always say this. We learn so much. I keep calling back to student of the game with you, DJ, and I think that's literally one of those things that stands out. I'm going to take a minute now. Again, thank you for. I tried to sneak it past you and try to make it where you didn't know what this was, but you kind of did your homework and have watched some of our rapid fire, man. So we're going to transition into a segment, DJ, that hopefully in your interviews you've done, hopefully you've never had anything like this. Okay. So there's a segment we do called Rapid. Dane and I bet every single time, and the winner gets lunch. Now, this time, Dane, I'm up in the ante. I want lunch, and I want you to Uber it to me. I don't want to go get it. You got to send it to me. Okay. So up in the ante. So DJ, with this
$10
man
fee right there.
Yeah, $10 fee. You have to guess. You have to go with one, no matter how awkward or weird it is. Our fans give some good stuff. You got to pick one, okay? So we're going to take a little bit of the recruiting thing. I know you've been on the trail. You've been doing that. So the first question, anything's possible. The multiverse, just time doesn't exist, right? So you are asked to, on your recruiting trail, you show up at one of your, we're going to say a pitcher. You're trying to recruit them. And the way that you have to recruit them is you have to karaoke in front of their family and everybody, like a whole album straight. You got to sit there and just show up kind of John Cusack style. You may not know that reference, but you got to do the whole thing to either A, Taylor Swift, or you got to go with Tanya Tucker. You just got to belt out a whole album to that athlete.
You got to go Taylor Swift. I mean, we're so the recruits know some T Swift right now. It's hot. So
dang it, I didn't
know what the recruits like, right?
Dane, did you have that one?
No, I had the Tanya Tucker. That's
okay.
I was going with the classics.
I could just see walking up, and I can just see you dropping like some, shake it off. I get it, man. That's awesome. So next one, we're going to stay with the recruiting thing for a second. They kind of tailored these for you, man. So even though everyone knows who you are, we all know that, you have to show up and with a straight face when you're shaking people's hands and going through the trail and what you do, you have to tell them again, no smiling, nothing, that you're not DJ Gasso, that you're either A, Willie Robertson from the Duck Commander, or B, Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Hi, I'm Coach Sheldon, or hi, I'm Coach Willie Robertson. And you have to
Willie Robertson.
I had that one, man. I did.
I love
Dane, did you have that one, Dane?
No, I'm 0 for 2 now.
Yeah,
I'm trying to stay topical, man.
I got you.
See, this is why I owe so many lunches to Josh so far.
Topical, so. But I can see it like DJ is walking up. Hi, my name is Willie Robertson. How you doing? Would you like to play for me? I like that. So the next one, let's say you're on the field, opening game. All right, so we're gonna do some fall ball, kind of get the bat swinging and all that. So you show up and you have to call. You're calling pitches this game. I don't know if that's something that's part of your pedigree or not for this Arkansas, but let's say you are. Now, to do this, you either have to do to call the pitches, you have to find a way with cardboard or something to either call the pitches using only emojis, okay? Emojis, that's one, or you have to do it using smoke signals. Which one are you going with?
I would say emojis would be pretty fun.
Like 2 for 3, Dane. 2 for 3. Let's go. What you got, Dane?
I had emojis. I had it.
Yeah.
You had that one. Okay.
There we go.
So we're gonna say okay. So I'm 2 for 3. Dane, you're 1 for 3.
No,
is that right?
1 for 3. I'm still trailing here. Making a comeback though is what I'm doing.
I got you on this one. I already know. I have locked this one. And I know what we're gonna go with. So next question. We're going to go ahead and call it. You're going to be at the World Series with the Razorbacks next year. And as you come out
right now,
we're going to say it. So you get a chance to have one of these two artists sing, and it's not, we're going to say national anthem. Somebody did that. The second song, as you come out, like, and they introduce the players, they're going to have a walk-up song for you. And this guest artist is singing your walk-up song. You've got two choices. Okay. So you're going to either go with A, Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray himself is going to be there, showing up, doing his thing, singing it for you. Or we're going to go with B, Red Solo Cup by Toby Keith. Dude, as you walk out.
Red Solo Cup, Toby Keith. Come on.
I had Billy Ray, man. I really did, man. Let's go.
All right, look at me tying it up.
Did you have that one, Dan?
Solo Cup. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Beat Red Solo Cup.
Toby's son, Steelen, was on our football team. We high school together, so I've known Toby for a while. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I had you with the Billy Ray. I thought you might even grow the Kenny Powers to support him and all that, man. I had you, man. Okay, we're 2 for 2. So last one, man. Last one. Even though it typically stops at about 10U, for whatever reason, for you guys are doing an Arkansas Hallow Scream tournament, and you got to wear a costume. Okay, so a bunch of grown people out there doing costumes. Zane loves this one, and your 2 choices you get to pick from that you have to wear the whole game, the entire tournament, press conference, and all. You got to go with A, Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, or B, Nacho Libre, aka Jack Black.
Dude,
Which one you
Nacho
going?
Libre for sure.
I had that one.
Easily.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So I had 2 out of 5 or 3 out of 5. Dan, what'd you have, man?
I have to get the Uber ready. I have to get the Uber ready to send your lunch there.
Please send me some Jack in the Box Uber, please. I'll take that victory.
Dane does not wear special pants very, very much for fun.
He does not. Thank you, Coach. This is a little segment, man. Hopefully you haven't had that in previous interviews, man. Thank you. So I'll give it back to Dane for the last segment, man. So.
Yeah, Coach, on this last segment, we call it a open mic. We kind of open the floor up to our guests to maybe tell a philosophy or a mantra or something they've carried through the years through coaching or playing or both that they can maybe pass on to some of the younger viewers and listeners to our show to kind of help them along their pathway. Is there something that you can tell these younger listeners, a couple of words of wisdom that have helped you through the years to kind of help them on their journey as well?
Yeah. I would say I have a couple. Like one thing that I heard always from my mom, and I try to start every hitters meeting with it is, softball. It's not who you are. It's what you do. So understanding and having an identity outside of the sport is huge because your life outside of softball is greater than any success that you'll have in the game. The reason why you coach, the reason why you play, championships are great, but it's the relationships that you build that will last a lifetime and that will mean the most. And I think that you always hear that from a lot of different coaches, but it's so true. Understanding and knowing your identity is not in the sport because you never will waver whether you're doing good or doing bad, especially in a game like this where you're failing the majority of the time, right? So I think that's huge. But I think one thing, people always say hey, the life outside of softball, it's more than it. I absolutely agree. It's more than the game. And like I just said, that's how you should think about it. But I'm an extremely competitive person. And when you get me on the field, winning is everything, And so I hope people start to understand the balance. And that's something that I preach is, hey, it's just a sport. It's not who we are. It's what we do. But when we are on the line, we're bringing it. We're getting after it, and that side, I always like to use the Trevor Moed quote, it takes what it takes. And I think that's a perfect, easy quote example to use for a championship level, a championship caliber team athlete. This is what it takes to win a championship. There's not, if you want anything less than that, you're not going to win. It takes what it takes. It takes this. So if you decide to do X, Y, and Z that doesn't add or get you to this line, you're not going to win. And having that on the field, in the training room, in the weight room, and school, all these other things, it takes what it takes. This is a standard. You're either living up to the standard or you're not. And as soon as you feel I don't feel like it today, I don't feel like it, and, someone else is passing you. So really having that, it takes what it takes mentality, raising the standard, having the standard set and competing for that every single day is huge for me when it gets on the field. But understanding the balance between on the field, off the field, I think are huge to me because, like I said, winning isn't everything. There's the life outside of softball. But when you're on the field, you better believe that we're going to compete and we're going to win. So I think understanding the balance of both is huge.
It's fascinating, Coach, because I agree with you that it is relationships, and I think no bigger example than softball. And Dane and I talk about
Yep.
this. It's one of the biggest examples of how the sport through osmosis. We always say girls are always giving back, coaches are giving back. They'll hang up the cleats at 24, 25, and they'll go turn right back around and teach the littles, right? They'll go from 6 year old. It's like this osmosis thing, right? Because it's relationships. But also, I remember a coach from Colorado had said, hey, we understand that it's a game, but nobody's coming out here paying all their hard-earned money to watch somebody lose. So I understand the balance, right? Like you want to do this, definitely. And you want the girls to earn memories, but it's also just a little sweeter if we're pulling a W, right? So I totally get that, man. So anything to add to that, Dane? That's awesome, man.
No, I mean, just a lot of girls and a lot of athletes need to hear that, because some of them tell you whether it's just go out and have fun, or whether it's let's just try to do our best. Yeah, you want to do those things, but once you get on that field of play, you got to know that, hey, that's your primary thing. Do it to the best of your ability, and you can handle the losses if you're giving it your all, because there's never a time where there shouldn't be a time where your coach doesn't ask for everything you have. But then once you leave the field, you did your best, and then, okay, life goes on, and you have great memories that way when you give it your all and you leave it out there, as opposed to, well, I could have done more. You never want to leave the field thinking you could have done more. So
exactly.
That's great.
I love the message.
That's the thing.
Man.
Winning is fun, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to have fun, you win. And how do you win? You kind of set the standard, and
this is a standard.
So exactly. So I think, but it's a game, and at the end of the day, you want to enjoy it, want to have fun, because when winning is too much, you kind of lock up, and you're not, playing like you need to play, or playing like it's just a game. So having that good balance and understanding when you need to use both sides, I think, is huge, especially in today's day and age. So.
Wow. Well, Coach, I will say this, man. Obviously, no question, open invitation. We can't wait to have you back on again in the future as you get rolling with the season. You're part of the alum. Please come back anytime. We will make it happen. We've watched you for a long time, and we can't wait to see you. We'll be watching you with obviously with Arkansas. I think it's going to be a neat dynamic this year. There's a lot of moving parts. I think there's a lot more competition being laid out for this upcoming season. Some of the moves that there's many moves we could talk through, whether it's pitchers going different spots all across the league, and then coaches like yourself taking on spots in other conferences. I think it's going to be a heck of a year competitively that we haven't seen in a while, man. So I can't wait to watch you. I know you're a busy man, Coach. So please, like I said, let it be known. Open invitation. Let this be the first of many. We will be in touch, man. We'll get this out as soon as we can, and we just can't say enough thank yous for stopping by tonight. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Sir.
All right.
Sorry
for all the busyness too.
No, we understand. Definitely understand.
I only got to coach 2 kids, Coach. I understand you're coaching, I countless, so we get it, man. So thank you for your time, and we'll get you back to you. Be blessed, okay? We'll be in touch, man.
You guys too. Have a good one, man. Thanks.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, kid. So, Dane, I kind of had to stop and just kind of pick up my jaw after making 2 or 3 pages of notes, man. Some of the most wow, help me out. I am speechless. So what do you think?
I mean, the message that you get from a coach of that caliber, coming from that pedigree, it just kind of puts a little bit more of an emphatic stamp on what he's saying, even though you may have heard it from a coach from years past, or your current coach says it, that coach has your best interest in mind whenever you hear a coach of this caliber say the same thing, and let you know that from the time you started to even at his high level, that's the message. And, it's something that you probably should listen to whenever you have multiple people saying it. So,
well, he's a great coach. I love the drive. I can say with all my heart, I love competitive coaches, and there's no disrespect to anyone that has that philosophy of learning, but there's just something about that extra bite when you're like, I want to win, So that was a fun one, man. I was glad we got the chance to track him down. Just a softball mind. So I can already tell you, Dane, I feel like you're going to see him at the World Series. I do, because he's not he's not taking no for an answer. Look at the pedigree of Alicia. Like, look what he's trained, right? Like, he gravitates towards people that want to win and also are great people. It's a combination. Great people, great human beings, great teachers, and then they also are just super competitive. So man. Well, Coach, thank you. Thank you for Dan and I and the worldwide audience that has followed you and loves you. Can't wait to make this the first of many.
Yep.
Dan, we got a lot coming up. I won't even spoil it with any trailers. We're just gonna say, Coach, thank you with all of our hearts. Can't wait to do it again soon on behalf of Dane and Josh. So never forget that we love you. And Dane,
thank you for listening.